Hola a todos, Michelle here. Michelle, estoy aquí con un video de actualización sobre mi viaje en español. So I wanted to do an update video going live here um, in order to share what's been happening recently. Let me give me one sec. Just want to check something. Okay, cool. So I just wanted to update, go live, see if anybody's out there. Definitely want to chat as well. So first, I have 565 hours, which last week I did 30 minutes. So the last few weeks haven't really had much input, but up until this week, and I start my weeks on Sunday. Sunday, I've been really getting back into the swing of things. So starting off with this week, I have been putting my headphones on and I've been listening to the How to Spanish podcast when I cook breakfast. So I am in my own world, and what I want to do is just to get more input. I've even starting to tell myself, like, okay, let's just focus on more content in Spanish. As much as like I want to watch something in English, I really want to push myself more to spend more time with the Spanish input surrounding me. So, with that being said, like I said, I keep my headphones on. And so I do that up until I have to go to work, which has been really great. And I'm doing the same thing here. It's just repetition. And with listening to the How to Spanish podcast, I've just been listening to the same episode probably for the past 3 to 4 days. I've been listening to the same episode over and over. And the reason I've been listening to it, not only just for repetition, but also because I really enjoy the episode because it's someone who is part of the How to Spanish Patreon group. And she's sharing her journey on how she started to learn to speak Spanish. So I found that very insightful because obviously I want to be at that point where I can do an interview and have a conversation with somebody speaking strictly in Spanish. So that was what, caught my attention, and I wanted to continue to listen to try to grab everything that she was saying and, hone in on that, take that as inspiration and continue to fuel myself with that so that I can um, continue on my journey and use that as inspiration as well. I do Duolingo, a one lesson a day. So I continue to do my Duolingo one lesson a day. And for me, that's because if I don't have any input, I'm always like, at least I'm doing one thing. And one thing that I do appreciate about Duolingo is that I do learn new vocabulary. I do learn how to conjugate different verbs and the tenses and things like that. Am I a pro at it? Absolutely not. But I do find it helpful when there's a lesson over the course of like a few weeks. It gets me in a pattern of consistency to understand, like, oh, okay, this would be like it happened once, past tense. And then here's another way to conjugate something if it happened over a period of time in the past tense as well. So I've been finding Duolingo pretty interesting as well. Well, I've always found it interesting. Like I've been doing Duolingo for years. One thing that I did want to share that I started, and I actually did this today, is that I want to start going back online and taking like Spanish lessons. So back in 2022, I started with italki. And on italki, I had a Spanish teacher that I was working with there probably for about a month. And then she went on vacation, and then I went on vacation, and from there kind of just fizzled out. But anyways, why I remember when I was working with her, my comprehension skills were not even close to where I am today. And so it was very difficult, although it was focusing on like the traditional way of teaching Spanish, like how I'm used to doing it, like when I was in high school. And so obviously that was before I even found Dreaming Spanish. And so now that I've done Dreaming Spanish, I have, over 500 hours under my belt of comprehensible input. I found this was the right time for me to start getting more into conversation. So for me, I want to work on getting better and having conversation. Also, reflexive verbs, using like the less, le, or vocabulary. And so I felt like, oh, this is a good time just to see how it is while I do this. So the website that I'm using, I'm not using italki this go around. I'm using a website called Preply. And so Preply, I filter through like a bunch of tutors, and they have like welcome videos as well, which is really helpful. You can kind of get a sense of a little bit of their personality, and they share, what resources they use to help teach Spanish, acquire Spanish. And so I picked a couple of people, and I had my trial session today, which was 25 minutes long. And I felt that I was very uncomfortable. Well, first, let me start with my win. My win is that I was understanding majority of the things that they were asking me, the questions that they're asking me, the things that they were telling me on how they teach and use their resources to help, like how they could help me. And so I felt that very helpful. And for me, that was the first thing that I noticed, because I remember when I started italki 2 years ago, and I was like, wow, I don't really understand what you're saying. So I'm struggling here to even, kind of take steps in the right direction. And sometimes I felt like she was getting frustrated at the same time. So now that I have the comprehension under my belt, I'm finding it very, very helpful in terms of now moving forward with this. Okay, so I said that. And so one of the teachers, she had like the spinning wheel where she would spin the wheel and then would have certain questions written in Spanish to allow me to answer in Spanish as well, which I found very useful. And 25 minutes goes by really, really fast, because they kind of give me an intro as to who they are. And then they want to know what I'm looking for, things that I want to work on, which is great. So they don't just jump in telling me what they think I should be doing, which I really appreciated. And then the second teacher, he was very like gung ho. And what I appreciated about him is that he did tell me, if you say it right, you're going to have to repeat it back to me correctly, rather than him telling me, oh, this is how you're supposed to say it, and me going, oh, okay, cool. Because I know I can have a habit of doing that, where it's like, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying. That's cool. But most importantly, it's about me repeating it and getting used to saying it. And obviously that's how I'm going to start to be able to, like, it's going to come out like butter, like it's easy. And so I appreciated that. I also appreciated that he asked me about what I do, and then also asking me to explain the day to day of what I do, because that's going to help me learn vocabulary in exactly what I do. So I feel like that's very helpful as well. So I really appreciate that. I feel that I'm probably going to go, I'm going to try them both out, and see what that's like. So I really, really appreciate that. Comprehensive Input Spanish updates. What's up? It's going well. I'm sharing my updates here. I started using Preply, trying to get some Spanish tutors so I can work with them weekly to help with my conversation. So I'm just going over my experience that I had today with that as well. So yeah, I wasn't comfortable, but I feel like that's great. I got to get uncomfortable to see growth. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing myself push myself into this and seeing the growth that I have as well. And so I do want to share, if anybody's interested in using Preply, you may use my referral link. You get 70% off of your first trial lesson. And I can actually show you Preply. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's see, Preply. And it's really cool because you can filter through, let me see here. Okay, so you can filter through, so like get started, right? And then you can say, what do I want to learn? Spanish. Okay, keep going. And then I can just kind of pick, what's my goal? Depending on, where I'm at. And conversational is what I chose, I believe. I know the basics, because I feel like if I say I'm conversational, I don't know if it's going to get wild where they're going to go full steam at me. And I'm going to be like, whoa, okay, I meant conversational, but like poquito conversational. Kind of like when someone says, buenos dias, I'm like, buenos dias. And they're like, "Da-da-da-da." And I'm like, too much. And like, what did you say? Despacio, por favor. And then you can look for the countries that you want to find native speakers from, which is really cool. My goal here is learning Mexican Spanish. So I move forward there, time of day, but you don't have to do all that. Okay. And even like the price per 50-minute session. So from my filter, I saw prices that range from like $8 USD per 50 minutes to about $25 USD for 50 minutes, which I find very reasonable. Like I said, you can filter through and watch their videos, their intro videos, and see like, who really stands out to you as well. So I like that because it's affordable. And with affordability, it allows me to continue to take multiple lessons each week because of that reason. So you can see here how it goes over. You have people who have reviews and you can watch their videos and things like that. So it's really cool resource that if you want to use, like I said, if you want to try it out, 70% off. Just link is in the description for your trial session. Um, Today's lesson was 25 minutes. So you can do a trial lesson. So you don't need to do a full 50-minute lesson. The trial lesson I did today, Comprehensible Input Spanish Updates. If you can tell me your name, that'd be great. Unless you want me to keep calling you by your chat. I mean, your YouTube name. But it's totally cool. So anyways, so yeah, today I did trial lessons and I chose a 25-minute trial lesson because I didn't need more than that, just to kind of get a vibe of like who they are and they can see who I am. And then also for them to allow me to tell them this is what I'm looking for. And then in return, they showed me these are the different things that I can do to help you. So I really appreciate that, since it's kind of like, I don't know, speed dating or something. Like, let's see if we got a vibe going. And if we want to continue moving forward, then I will continue to book you and we can get the ball rolling and having something consistent. So I felt that was very helpful. And like I said, 25 minutes goes by very fast, but you can, in that amount of time, you can totally get the vibe and say like, hey, this is somebody that I feel like I can connect with and they can connect with me. And hey, I want to see them like on a weekly basis or every other week, whatever it may be. Right. So, and that's really important. So I thought that was cool. One thing I learned too. Oh, Will, trying out as a teacher. Yeah. Will, what's up? No, you don't need to change your username. I just like to be able to connect and, you know, I know you got a name out there, so I just want to connect with you and say that as well. So I just didn't want to keep calling you Comprehensible Input Spanish Updates. So what's up, Will? Trying out a teacher is important for sure. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Because like I said, I tried italki 2 years ago and, I felt like it wasn't a match. But hey, I got to give it a try in order to see, moving forward, what it is. And Lamin, hey, what's up? How's it going? What's new? Share some micro wins with me, or macro wins. How are you guys been doing along in your journey as well? I love to hear about that. Or any resources that you'd like to share with us as well. The next thing I wanted to share, because I was listening to the How to Spanish podcast. I don't know how many times I've listened to the same episode, but in this episode, well, first, let me share How to Spanish podcast. Okay. I'm a visual person, so I love to share visuals because that's how I love to learn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for you all as well. On this lesson, when you're talking as a filmer. Oh yeah. Will, on this lesson that I had today, my trials with, I had 2 trials with 2 different people. It felt more natural. And once again, this is why I love Dreaming Spanish, is because I can understand. And in the past, I did not understand everything. I thought for me, it would be best for me to go in like cold turkey and be like, let's just figure out how I'm going to learn how to have a conversation and acquire the language. And that style didn't work for me. And so having that input and being able to understand, well, man, it takes everything to a new level where the confidence to even feel a little bit confident in answering back, because now I can use the words that they're using, and just reply back, trying to use those words, but making sure like, okay, what vocabulary do I know also to answer those as well? But I felt like way more comfortable in listening and comprehending the things that they were saying to me, because they were speaking at a natural level. Like they were not speaking slow for me at all, especially Richard. He was not slowing down. And I'm like, oh, I want to learn Mexican slang. So then he was teaching me that. And, it's like chopping like words off and parts of the word off. But it was fun because I do want to learn that. So I felt that very important as well. So I felt that helpful. So How to Spanish podcast. How to Spanish podcast is a podcast that I also started watching a while ago as well, when I first started, and I didn't understand much of anything because I also feel like How to Spanish podcast, they speak at a very like native level. They don't really speak slow. If they have guests on the show, I don't feel like they're going at a slow pace. Not where I felt like where I'm getting the input on Dreaming Spanish, where you have the super beginner and beginner level videos. No. So anyway, so I listened to them, and obviously I can see like the transformation and like, wow, I can listen to, one of their 20-minute episodes, and I'm gathering most of what they do. So this is cool, right? So let me show you what they do, what they started. And what they started is How to Start Spanish podcast, which I think is really cool. And I wanted to share this resource so that if anybody's looking for that, you have that as well. So How to Start Spanish podcast, you can see where it's like flashcards, giving you vocabulary. And when I was listening to the podcast episode on the How to Spanish podcast, Anna was describing it as they're going to speak slower. You're going to see some English. So I did start to watch an episode, and this person here, I think her name is Claudia, she speaks, and then like the English translation and was at the bottom. So I felt like that's really helpful, and also that they're speaking slower because, like I said, when I started listening to them, it's at a fast pace. So I kind of had to stop and just stick to Dreaming Spanish with the super beginner videos. And then once I got, pretty good there, I was listening to Peppa Pig. So this is definitely another good resource as well. Let me go ahead and check out the comments. Lemon, 500 hours? Wow. Woo, that is amazing. Congratulations. Oh, I'm getting out of the camera. That's amazing. Congratulations. 500 hours. Level 4 has been a long road for you, but you made it. That's what matters. And so I'm so happy for you. And I'm sure this is a testament to your dedication and your commitment to your language journey. What do you feel like? What have you learned? Like, what have you feel like was like, oh my gosh, I remember this, and now I can do this. Like in terms of like comprehension or even speaking. What is a win that you've got from getting to 500 hours? I'd like to learn that as well. Let's see. Will, you stopped with Dreaming Spanish at 600 hours like 7 months ago, and you assumed I can get one a day since then. Wow, 600 hours. That's awesome. Congratulations to you too, Will. That's really cool. What is something that you've learned about yourself once you got to the 600 hours? And then where are you looking to go from here as well? I'd love to hear that and learn that from both of you guys, because I think that information is helpful and it's very inspiring. So thank you both for sharing your wins, because it is inspiring to me, and I'm happy to be having this conversation with you too. But what, Lemon, is that like a sweaty person emoji right there? Like it's been a long road. It sounds like you got some stories, huh? That's cool. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. But yeah, I want to share How to Start Spanish. If anybody's checking out this video and looking for other beginner resources. And it's not even just a beginner resource, honestly, because I'll even sometimes go back to the beginner and super beginner videos in Dreaming Spanish and listen in my headphones, because they do speak a lot slower. And so it allows me to pay attention more, because sometimes when I have my headphones on and I'm doing things, my mind will start to like wander different places. And I'm like, what was I listening to? Unless it's like music and I know the song, then of course I know what I was listening to. But, or even if it's in English, I can probably catch back on because I'm catching the story here and there. But as I'm tuning and getting better at comprehending Spanish, it's very it's still great for me to go back to super beginner and beginner resources as well. So I love that. All right. Well, I'm going to check out your videos. If you watch some of my videos, you can see me speaking. I still have a lot of fear talking to people in real life. All right. There's some good AI conversation practice. Okay, I'm going to check out your videos and check you out. AI, I saw a video on using AI. I think it was ChatGPT. And so I did one day I just downloaded ChatGPT on my phone and I started using it, but I felt like the conversation wasn't flowing, or I wasn't even able to finish my sentence and they were already like saying something back to me. So, but I find that useful. So there's some good AI. Yeah, I'm gonna check out your videos, Will, and see what you got going on over there. That's cool. But yeah, I can relate to still having fear to talk to people in real life. Um, Having those conversations is like, I feel like my brain is trying to think like, okay, I'm going to say this and I'm prepared and I'm going to get it right. And then this is like the backstage, but when the curtains lift and it's time for me to do it, I'm like, como, and I'm like, I already know this stuff, but I'm like stage fright, I guess. So I guess that's why I'm doing Preply as well and getting the tutors, because I just want to make it more easy and more natural at the same time as well. So we shall see. Yeah. And if you guys have any other resources out there, please put those in the comments as well. I know I appreciate it, because I always look at the resources, because there's always something out there that I don't even know about. So yeah. Anyways, well, that is really it for me today. That is what I wanted to share, my updates. Mr. Kirk, ever try language transfer? Are you referring to the language exchange apps like Hello Talk, Speaky, where I speak English, they're trying to learn English, and I'm trying to learn Spanish, so we're doing the language exchange? And checking that out, is that what you're referring to? I have done Hello Talk and I've used Speaky. Oh, language transfer is a YouTube playlist. I have not. But I will check that out. Thank you for sharing that. I haven't even heard of that, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Kirk. So yeah, language transfer is good. I've used them in the past. For me, it was having to sift through, because just finding people who are closer to my time zone, like Central America, South America, in order to make it more consistent, because I remember I was connecting with people in Spain and the time difference didn't work out, because we were just on two different time zones, obviously. And it was like, I was just getting my day started and like trying to prep, and they're like kind of at the end of their day. So, yeah, but I've met people that I'm still in contact with, probably from like 3 or 4 years ago, that I still keep in touch with over WhatsApp. Let's see. Yes, I recently traveled to Panama, and so that was fun. I did try my Spanish, especially when I was like in Ubers, because a lot of the times, I think one time or a couple of times, I had somebody who spoke English. But in that case, yes, I did try my Spanish. I was nervous, but I did it. Um, I can get by, I guess you can say. It's not perfect, but I can get by and they understand me. So it's kind of like we know where we're going, but it's very simple. And for me, it's wanting to get to that point where I'm able to express everything that I feel, rather than being simple, because I'm like, oh man, I really have a deep thought and I want to have a great conversation with this person, but I don't even know how to move forward here. So yeah, I just recently went to Panama, which is really fun. And I look to doing that more, because it gets me immersed, and they're so helpful and nice, that it makes me feel comfortable in trying, which is the most important part. So let's see. Okay. Um, okay. Will. No, it's a podcast about grammar trends and how to think through talking. Are you referring to language transfer? What Mr. Kirk was talking about, Will? And my goal with this channel, for me, it's my diary. It's my diary from start to finish. That's my goal with this channel, to show like my progress from start to finish, and see myself grow. Because for me, when I was looking up before Dreaming Spanish, or just trying to find resources in general, I would see videos like how I learned Spanish in 30 days or 6 months or whatever. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I do that? I would love to learn it in 30 days or 6 months. So for me, it's about the documentation from start to finish, because I also feel like I'm a person, like if you tell me you accomplished something, I want to know the details of how you did it. Don't just tell me like the day you started and then the end goal and like all the like flowers and roses. For me, it's important for me to learn like your ups and your downs, the resources that you use, because over a course of time, like even what I'm doing now, from starting almost 2 years ago from using Dreaming Spanish, like my resources change, the way I think change, how I learn change. And if someone were to ask me a year from now, like, oh, how was it when you were at super beginner? I may not have all those details that I would be sharing exactly in that moment. And so that's why I find it really resourceful for myself. So if I ever have those questions, I have an in the moment or around that moment time to share those resources, to share how I was feeling, to share what I was learning, to share like, you know what, I was trying to run before I could even walk. Like I thought I could go into um as beginner videos when I really needed to still be in super beginner, because I'm like, oh, I just want to get there so fast. So I feel like it's my diary. This is what it is. My acquiring Spanish diary. Um, let's see. Okay, so you confirmed that for me, Mr. Kirk, on it's a podcast about grammar trends. So I'm going to check that out. So thank you both for sharing that. And then Lemon, getting to 500 hours, let me know that I can really hit my goal to be conversational. A big win for you is that you can understand some Spanish YouTubers. That's what's up. Congratulations. I feel like that's always great, right? When you're like, whoa, I'm doing it. So congratulations, Lemon, on getting to that point and seeing that for yourself, and letting us know about your win. I appreciate that. And I look forward to hearing about all your other wins that come forward from this 500-hour mark as well. Will, I don't plan on taking any exams. That's not anything that I've asked has crossed my mind on that. Lemon, this is your sign to start your channel. You want to start your channel, but you're afraid to be in front of the camera. Okay, I ran into your channel and Lisa and Greg's last November when I was hesitating starting Dreaming Spanish because I've been through so many different learning power. I'm glad you stuck with it. That's so awesome. Yay. And see, we want to learn your story too, Lemon. So go ahead and what is it? Press go live on your YouTube and start to share your story. Even if it's a minute, do a short or something. Or don't go live, just record a short video and dip your big toe in to see how you feel and make it more about your journey, and you can see your own progress. I think for me that really helped me getting started on that. Mr. Kirk, do you skip any videos or just go from old to new? What's your technique for getting through the videos? Okay, so super beginner. I had to watch all of them on the free version. And then I think I still needed hours according to the roadmap. So that's when I started to get the premium subscription. And then once I got to intermediate, I started to watch the new videos. And then I was like, oh, let me go check out the old videos from, I think it was like 2017 or 16. It's been a while. And then I did go to the old videos. But then sometimes the old videos weren't keeping me engaged as much. So right now I'm back at watching the new stuff. I feel like the teachers that they have, they're doing amazing videos, amazing content. The topics are really great and entertaining and engaging. So right now I'm starting back at the top. I'm back at the new videos because the old ones, I wasn't feeling it as much. Trying to get through those, especially because I'm watching the videos multiple times. I'm not just watching the video once and then going through the next video just so I can catch anything that I may have missed. So yep, I'm back at the new videos. Let's see. And my technique to getting through videos. So, I guess really it's just looking for topics that I'm interested in. So I'm also aware of like how much time do I have right now to input hours watching the Dreaming Spanish videos. So if I feel that like I got like 20 minutes, I'm going to look for a short video, because sometimes I'll see like there's some that are like 5 to 7 minutes. And so those videos I can watch 3 times and be like, okay, I got 20 minutes in, rather than watching one 20-minute video, and I'm like, I usually like to watch it multiple times, and then I'll put the hide watched. So then I got to take that off because I want to go back to it. So it just depends. And then there are some videos that I start where I'm like, oh, I thought I'd trying to get into the topic, and I'm like, it's not really holding me there. So for me, it's really just finding the topics that interest me to get through those videos. That has been really, really helpful in continue to accumulate those comprehensible input hours. Yeah. Yep. Lisa and Greg are great. Like, I love seeing their journey too, how they're out there in Spain. It's cool. And I think that's what it's all about for us, to continue to see how everyone's journey is going to look a little bit different. So I can raise my hand here. I had to stop looking to compare myself, as to, are they doing it faster? Oh man, they can already do that. And just really enjoy my journey, because it's all going to look different, and just congratulating each other and using that as, my own inspiration to keep pushing, no matter what, because I have a goal that, I want to achieve, and, everyone's not on the same journey for the same reason, and that's okay. So it's like, how can I compare myself to somebody else when I don't even know, like, we could be on this journey for different reasons, or we have different backgrounds, like how much we've come in already knowing some Spanish or whatever it may be. So it's more just for me sharing resources and congratulating and applauding each other on this journey, and seeing us all when we, as we come along, and how we can all just keep pushing each other forward. All righty. Anything else before I end the live? It's been a pleasure with you, Mr. Kirk, Will, Lamin. I enjoy having these conversations. Lamin, I'm going to be looking forward to your YouTube channel. Okay. Mr. Kirk, some of the old ones can be tough. Yeah, for sure. For sure. With some of the older videos, like, I need to make sure I have no distractions around me. It's almost like I have to, like, make sure my cell phone is, like, in another room, so I'm not, like, watching it and I'm like, oh, what's on my phone? Because yeah, it can be a little tough, but it's all good. I mean, that's also part of the Dreaming Spanish journey as well. Like, it's like, man, congratulations, a big old, like, high five, 2 high fives to Pablo and his team from where they started to where they are now. So I definitely appreciate it, for sure. Even the old videos, because, he was doing a lot of those old videos too. And, other people that he had that I no longer see making videos. So it's a testament to Dreaming Spanish, which I appreciate that he never gave up on his vision and his goal either, which is really cool. Okay. Yep. All right, everybody. It's been fun. And until next time, nos vemos en el próximo video. Ciao.